In this video, I'm going to explain how to use structured cabling assemblies. Now first, I just wanted to give you a peek at the estimate that I created here. I already created an estimate, as you can see on the screen here, and it has several different sections. The purpose of sections is to break out pricing separate. Now, this is just a test, if you will, or a training estimate that I created, but notice how I have sections called horizontal cable drops, indoor backbone, closet, access control, security, audio visual, and fire alarm. So hypothetically, if I was estimating a real job, I would use sections to break out the pricing separate. Now I'll show you more on that later, but first I'm just going to drill down. I'm going to click Take Off Edit in horizontal sections or horizontal cable drop section, and I'm going to show you how to use the structured cabling assemblies. So I'll click Edit. When the screen opens, it populates over here on the left. It shows the product catalog. Now I'm just going to grab this line, left click, hold it down, move this over to unsquinch it. Now, low voltage products, I explained in a different video, are here in the product catalog. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Assemblies button at the top, click Assemblies, and navigate to the assembly catalog. So we see that we have residential, this is electrical, residential electrical Romex and plastic boxes, commercial, and structured cabling. I'm going to click the little plus sign next to structured cabling, and when I do, it'll display the subcategories of assemblies that we have in Red Rhino. Now, as discussed in other videos, Red Rhino does not have material pricing, I should say, for material items for structured cabling. You have to get them quoted, but you input those items into Red Rhino to capture them, and then you go get your quoted materials and put that in the recap. More on that later. I'm going to drill down into horizontal stations, but before I do, let me just read these off, okay? If you're learning Red Rhino, just go in here and try some of these assemblies, input them, see what they consist of. First, I'm going to just explain the characteristics of the assembly. So we see horizontal station assemblies, closet build out, indoor backbone, riser, outdoor backbone, which is outside plant, and miscellaneous. I'm going to click on horizontal stations, and when I do, it'll display the assemblies at the bottom left. I'm just going to input a couple of these assemblies to show you how it works, and I'll explain the characteristics. Let me just scroll down here real slow. So you see it has, the assembly list says 1 cable station, 4 pair, 2 cable station, 4 pair, and so on through 6 cable stations. One more way to explain this is if you have 6 drops going in the same location, this is a 6 cable station, 4 pair assembly. Now just a little bit further down is the 1 cable station coax right here, 2 cable station coax, and so on. And then further down they have mixed complement, 1 4 pair, that'd be copper, and 1 coax. Again, if you have a coax and a 4 pair copper going to the same location, that's your assembly. So read through these so you understand, and at the bottom they have fiber. Look at here, 1 4 pair and 1 coax and 1 multi-mode, or 1 4 pair, 1 coax, 1 single mode, 2 fiber. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll up to the top. I'm just going to put in a quantity of 1 assembly. It's a 1 cable station, 4 pair. I'm going to add it to the right, and it populates a list of materials. Now before I click Save, I'm going to explain that anything with what we call open dialog boxes, where these boxes are open, you can change anything in open dialog. I could change the description, I could change the quantity, I could put in a price. Okay, so let me explain. When I input one of these assemblies, notice that it input 150 feet of 4 pair cable. Now, I want to explain something real quick so you understand it. Any assembly in Red Rhino that has cable, it considers 1 cable station to be 150 foot long cable. Okay, if I would have input a 2 cable station 4 pair assembly, it would have displayed 300 feet of cable. I want you to understand, it's critical that you understand that any assembly in here, they come up with the average, or the amount of cable is 150 feet. Now just real quick, this displays 150 foot of cable with labor to install it, 1 port faceplate wall mount, RJ45 jack, termination at the closet, cable labels, 4 per cable, testing, okay, a little labor for testing. Next, I'll click Save to save my work. Now, to my point earlier, again, each cable station or any cable assembly has 150 foot of cable. So to that point, I'm going to go put in a 4-point I should say 4 cable station 4 pair. I'm going to put in a quantity of 1. Looks like it hid the add button. I'm going to scroll up here. I'm going to click add. And when I do, again, it's a 4 cable station 4 pair assembly. So it input 600 feet of cable, 1 4-port faceplate wall jack, one RJ45, or rather 4 jacks, 4 terminations, 8 labels, and labor for 4, testing 4 cables, okay? I'm going to click save, and I'll show you another one. I'm going to input one more cable assembly. I'm going to scroll down the list here to the bottom, and I'm going to just unsquinch this a little bit. I grab this line, left click, hold it down, move it over. I'm going to input an assembly, 1 4-pair, 1 coax, and 1 single mode 2-fiber. So I'll put in a quantity of that. This is an assembly again. I'll input quantity of 1, scroll up to the top here, click add, and when it populates over to the right, I want to explain something about these assemblies. Now this, again, I explained already that each assembly with cable defaults at 150 feet. Now at this point, if you want to, you can change the quantity. Let's say that I know that these are only 120 feet. I'll change them to 120. Okay, so before you click save, you can edit things. You can also edit after you save. That's another video. But look at what it input here. It input the 4-pair cable, the coax, the single mode 2-strand, okay, and then other items. Now, I won't read all these to you right now, but at the bottom, I want to point out something. Many of these assemblies include what they call a memory jogger, where if you need it, you'll put in a quantity for it. If you don't need it, you'll end up deleting it. Here's what I mean. Look at the bottom here. It says OTDR test. The program inputs some labor for that test. Now, if you don't, it shows let me explain. It shows a quantity of 0 here. If I need it, I would put in a quantity of 1, and then it will include the labor for that. Now, if I choose not to, anything that you leave a 0 quantity, you'll want to go back and delete. Now, I'm going to save this. This is a quick lesson on deleting. So let's say that I don't need OTDR test, this line. I can click on it, or any other line. I can click the delete button at the top, which I'll do. When you see it disappear, then you must click the save button. Okay, so that's all for this video. This explained the horizontal stations. Again, go into the assembly catalog, try the different assemblies, input one, and see what the output is, okay? That's the way to learn it.